What up? What up?
Oh, hey, Max. Right as we're kicking off.
Yeah, sorry about
Um,
that.
oh, you're fine. We were just talking about the anarchy that is tonight anyway. So we'll kick us off here real quick. Thanks everybody for joining us, and hope everybody had a nice holiday weekend. Back to the fun grind. Super interesting day today in baseball. I think I imagine we'll have some interesting discussions. Adam, if he's able to join us, he's going to be late. He's flying out to California tomorrow. I think it's tomorrow for the Playboy Mansion Live final. So he's got some important. Yeah, exactly. Important things to take care of before he does that. So I guess we'll let him off the hook this time. But let's see, we gotta. I want to try to bring in as many questions as possible. So my thought for at least, especially for today, instead of kind of going game by game, we can always still dive into games as we go. We'll field any questions. Anybody that's watching or hopping in the chat, fire away as many questions as you possibly can. That way we can kind of have a little bit more back and forth debate with the people in chat and all of us. And I think we can kind of go by, say, let's just dive into the pitchers for a while. We tend to spend the most time on the pitchers anyway, I think, and I think it helps people with who to target for hitting anyway.
Pretty important.
Yeah. It's obviously it's the most important thing, and then we can kind of dive into stacks for GPPs, and we can go over cash plays and obviously the dong finder.
Sounds good. I'm actually going to open with a question, if you don't mind.
Please,
Max,
please.
tell me who to play as a pitcher in GPP, because I'm freaking lost over here.
FanDuel or DraftKings?
FanDuel.
FanDuel.
Just need one.
I haven't even looked at FanDuel. All right, hold on.
Yeah.
Let's
I mean,
see the
honestly, the
pricing.
pricing is.
It's gross.
It's not like.
Yeah, it's a little gross. So I don't know who are the biggest favorites, because that's where I usually start with FanDuel.
Scherzer.
Scherzer, yeah, for sure. I don't.
Yeah, but can you fit in Coors with Scherzer?
Scherzer and Lester, but you can't really fit Coors.
Right. So like you have to have Coors today.
Really?
Yes.
Are you thinking not just overreacting to the 17-run game yesterday? I mean, that's
No.
obviously an outlier.
Cincinnati is this bad. Like the bullpen is awful. And because they spent all of the arms yesterday, they might have position players pitch today for real.
All right.
Or more John Lamb, which just means more hits.
All right. Fair enough.
Yeah. No, it's let's see. I mean, I don't mind Sanchez. I don't know if he's going to get the win, but I think he's pretty safe at 8,600.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I do think he's going to get the win. Like, Tanaka is okay, but he's going to give up a couple of runs here, and the Yankees just can't score right now.
Yeah, just going over his game log, whenever Sanchez gets the win, he's over 40 FanDuel points, over 50 in two of them. When he doesn't,
Right.
Yeah, not as hot, but
Yeah, I mean, he's not going to strike out a bunch
I
of
like
guys
it.
or
That just solved my lineup conundrum. Thank you.
I mean, you can like flip a coin and pick up Fulmer or Shoemaker, right? Because one of them.
But, I mean, I feel better about this because I'm not leaving so much money on the table, which, I mean, I know that's not really.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. Like, what I like to do on FanDuel sometimes is kind of have the same lineup with like Shoemaker and then with Fulmer, and then you're getting the win, hopefully, from one of the two guys, and like you're kind of hedging your bets.
Right. Makes sense.
Yep.
So I want to play devil's advocate on Tanaka. I will say I don't like Tanaka on FanDuel. That's too much money. And frankly, he's overpriced on DraftKings too. But I've found on DraftKings with the pricing, it's oddly enough, like I can pretty easily fit a 10K pitcher with, say, Astros and Rockies, which, I mean, that's just silly that that's even possible. But like right now, that's what I mean. I have Scherzer with Rockies and Astros, which also shouldn't be possible.
Right.
But with Tanaka, I mean, he's vulnerable to the home run if the split finger's not working. But it has been and the Blue Jays are like, I want to say, 4th or 5th worst in the league against. I mean, they can't hit the splitter. So it's a spot where he's going to be completely overlooked, I think. Because people want the expensive bats. Scherzer's up there in an amazing spot because now Mikael Franco isn't even in the lineup either, so it's just a bunch of AAA guys. And then he's right by Lester. So I think that it's a spot where he's not going to get you 40 by any stretch of the imagination, but I think the K's could be a little sneaky, 6 to 7 max. And I think that there's some. I'm more willing to target the Blue Jays with right-handed pitchers, especially guys who keep the ball down, than I think most are. So I would limit it to DK probably because I don't feel that good about the win because I don't feel good about the Yankees bats either. But he's somebody that I'll definitely have exposure to on DraftKings tonight because I don't love Lester though. That's where I stand.
So why don't you love Lester? That's the question for me.
I just still have memories of these Dodgers right-handed bats destroying lefties. And I have memories of Lester just destroying all my hopes and dreams a few weeks ago against the Giants when he put up like -10 or whatever.
Yeah, but that's the Giants.
I know, but so this was, I don't know, maybe a month ago we had this same discussion on God, I can't remember who it was. Some lefty facing the Dodgers, and you look at the Dodgers numbers this year against.
It was Smiley.
And they're horrible. Smiley, and they're horrible, right? And so everybody's targeting Smiley. He's striking out everybody, and the numbers against that is great. And then they match in a pitcher's part. So I still think it's scary with Lester, and he doesn't have that much strikeout upside either. So
yeah, a little bit more than Tanaka does.
More,
but
for sure.
I don't know, like, I'm just not a believer in these Dodgers. I watched them hit on Saturday, and I don't know. They just don't make a lot of contact, like all of them. And Kike Hernandez, who was, like, mashing the ball last year, I think he has, like, 2 hits all year, I swear to God.
What happened? He's
been so bad.
Yeah, he's really been struggling.
So other than, like, Trace Thompson, nobody scares me.
Yeah. I can't argue with it. I just still have. I guess it's ingrained in my head.
No,
so,
I mean, honestly, just play Scherzer then, and punt your second pitcher. That's about it.
Steve, what do you think for cash on either site? How are you kind of going about? So one question that we had that was a really good question was cash construction on going Scherzer or Scherzer versus Lester, and then Suarez with a bunch of Rockies. What do you?
Yeah, let me answer his second question first because I was just looking that up about Cargo and Blackman. Blackman does better in lefty versus lefty matchups. His WOBA is actually a little bit higher a split. His ISO a little bit lower, but not nearly the drastic way that Cargo does in a lefty-lefty. That being said, I don't hate either one of them, but based on that, I would take Blackman as the play if all the other things are equal, which they're not. I mean, I see Cargo's like 500 cheaper on FanDuel. I'm not sure about DK.
200 cheaper on DK, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Blackman's been hot, and Gonzalez did kind of bust out of his slump. Well, quite a lot, actually. Like I said, I don't think you can really go too wrong with either one. It's not like John Lamb is an imposing left-handed pitcher. Exactly. So my preference is for Blackman, but I also, especially in cash, just love guys leading off.
Yeah.
And Blackman can hit for power and steal bases.
Yeah.
I like Blackman. But I think he'll be higher owned than Cargo, to be honest.
What do you think about Cargo versus Rayburn?
I
mean, Rayburn is going to be like 1,000,000%.
Yeah. I mean, if we're talking cash, then play Rayburn.
Yeah, exactly.
So this is where I struggle, right? So I hate playing lefty-lefty. It feels gross. But I feel like that's how everybody is. And like in a situation like this isn't like Mad Bum going into Coors. This is John Lamb, who is horrible. And like we talked about him for like 20 minutes last time he pitched against the Brewers, and we all stuck the Brewers, and we all made
he got destroyed.
He got killed. And we talked like, and I won't go on about it again, but like he came out and said he can't throw strikes with a pitch other than a fastball or a cutter. So it doesn't matter what handed you are if he's throwing a 92-mile-an-hour fastball down the middle in Coors. And like when you look at Cargo and Blackman's numbers, they're definitely, I should say Cargo, sorry. Cargo's numbers are definitely worse against lefties. It's significantly worse.
Yeah.
But in Coors against lefties, he's still better than normal hitters. And he faces Lamb twice, and then he faces the Reds' historically bad bullpen 3 times. I'm gonna play both of them in cash. I understand playing Rayburn, but I hate playing Rayburn because it feels like you're begging for like a home run in one of his first 2 at bats. They chase that lefty out of there, and he's not that powerful of a hitter. He's a good hitter and he's a good play, and I'll never tell somebody not to play him against a lefty, especially John Lamb in Coors. But if I can find the extra money to get up to Cargo or Blackman, that's what I would rather do. But that's just me.
Yeah, I mean, it's all a price-based thing on getting cheap exposure to Coors Field, which, by the way, I noticed the backup catcher for the Reds is starting. That's like the way into Coors, although arguably the worst.
I like Garneau, though.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
Because he hits.
My advice, at least from my point of view, just build your lineups. Like, don't even think if it's a lefty. Just build your lineups like you would normally, like it's a righty. Like 1 through 5 or 2 through 6, if you're stacking, because Lamb is not going to be there long enough for it to matter. He's just not.
That's a tough call on the Cozart versus Correa question I see there. I'm inclined to say Correa because he's just a better player than Cozart. But, I mean, Cozart definitely has a great pitching matchup and a great park. It's hard to say. I would probably.
Isn't it like Correa by a mile? Like, to me it is. Am I missing something?
I think if you're not playing Correa in cash at that price, you're never, ever, ever playing Correa in cash. Like Zach Cozart, like I understand the Coors.
Correa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It speaks Spanish, right?
I love when people correct on pronunciation. So, like, if you're not playing Carlos Correa against, so Robbie Ray at home against right-handed bats is like John Lamb, like worse, like 500 WOBA, like that bad. So, I mean. And Correa's got a great hitting environment too. Like turn on one and hit it in the short porch and left, and there's a home run. I just don't. I understand the Coors Field effect, and again, I guess if you play Cozart, I wouldn't yell at you, but I don't. Like I said, it's got to be Correa, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for Correa.
Yeah. Cozart wishes like every day that he could be Carlos Correa.
Yeah. Honestly, that's the thing is he's so far a superior player. Which is where I try to go if a question comes up. Always play the guy who's actually good at baseball.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. This little spurt from we forget because Cozart's having a good year that he's like really not very good at baseball.
Yeah, I mean he's like a singles hitter, right?
Yeah, I mean
compared to
Correa, he's not really very good at baseball.
Yeah. So here's a question that is kind of stemming off of that I kind of have that I want to bring up, and then we'll get to the next question in chat is kind of for Max. So on a night like tonight, right? Guys are grossly underpriced. Like Nolan Arenado is like the 6th highest priced third baseman, and Carlos Correa is like the 10th highest priced shortstop. Like, and they're in dream spots. Do you prefer to shove all in and just be 100% exposed to those guys, or do you know, shit, this guy's going to be 50%? Let me fade or hedge my bets, or how do you approach?
So normally when guys are underpriced, they're like not in as good of matchups as they are today. So that's the problem for me. Like normally I would say it's a hitter that's going to be 40 or 50% owned, fade, just because any hitter can go 0 for 4. Like look at Carpenter today. He was in a dream matchup, on fire, great ballpark, and he goes 0 for 4 because it's just baseball,
Mm-hmm.
But today I kind of want to give myself the most opportunities to win a GPP, right? And I think that in today's case, it's taking Correa against Ray, taking the Rockies, and just differentiating elsewhere with pitching and, with your other hitters, and kind of giving yourself a unique lineups like that.
What do you think, Steve?
I don't know. It's always dangerous fading Coors in these kind of matchups, especially when it's going to be this high owned. That being said, the first GPP lineup I put together didn't really have too much Coors. I'm kind of maybe revising that a little bit now. I would kind of almost try to target the guys who are going to be a little less owned. Arenado just sticks out like a sore thumb. I might want to roll the dice that he has a mediocre game and try and target someone like Garneau, although the price might make Garneau highly owned. I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out right now who might be the lower owned guy. Actually, I kind of think it might be Story because his price, especially on DK, his price is still way up there.
Yeah.
He's at the bottom of the lineup.
No.
And
I love Story. I even love the bottom of that Rockies order, like as a stack.
He crushes lefties. And Robbie Ray is very susceptible to lefty crushing righties. Maybe he'll
He's
go
in a little bit of a
down
slump.
there in the 7-hole,
Yeah.
He's slumping. He's hitting 7th, and he's the highest priced guy.
And everybody remembers that he went 0 for 4 when they scored 17 runs.
Right.
So.
I remember. So last night I wasn't watching, and I get to my. I had a softball game, and I get to my phone, and the first thing that pops up is Max says, "I feel bad for Story," and I'm like, oh God, what did he do? And actually, I'm thinking, oh man, the Rockies must have sucked. Well, no, they have 17 runs. it's just the Story didn't do anything, and so I'm like, well, I don't feel that bad for him. He's got like 15 home runs this year, but
seriously, yeah.
that wasn't what I expected to see when I saw I feel bad for Story. But I think if we're talking strict GPP plays, Correa commands all the ownership, Coors commands all the ownership, but yet you get Story super low owned, I think.
Oh yeah.
Is probably like an elite GPP play if we want to use that verbiage.
You just kind of want to give yourself the opportunity to score as many points as whoever you're fading. You know what I mean? So you can't take a Cozart and a Correa and compare those two. Just because in a vacuum, Cozart's never gonna be the type of hitter that Correa is. But if you want to fade Correa for a guy like Story at Coors, I understand, because you can project them for the same amount of points. Like if Correa goes off, Story can match him.
I agree. So,
definitely.
so question on, let's see, we kind of covered Cargo versus Rayburn, right? That question from Parker. And then we had a question about the Rays. So getting away from Coors, I know we'll probably spend a lot of time talking about Coors, especially if Adam gets here, because he'll just make us talk about Coors the whole time. But the Rays. So, it's funny because, especially for me, the Rays against lefties are always super interesting. It's just tonight, I'm really not looking anywhere besides Coors and Houston. But what do you guys, any one-offs or anything from the Rays game, or Steve, you're a little more interested in non-cores. What do you think?
I hadn't noticed the Rays were playing tonight. That's my level of interest in the Rays.
Yeah, I mean, they're projected for 3.4 runs.
Yeah,
who are they going?
Literally, it hadn't sunk in when I saw the question in the chat. I was like, oh, I guess the Rays are playing tonight.
Pierce is out.
I know, and that's why their total went down 0.4 runs since they announced that Pierce was out.
Yeah, their best lefty masher is out, so it kind of ruins that. The best probably odds on a home run in the middle of a potential Rays stack. So.
Yep.
And then Correa or Bogarts, I have zero interest in Bogarts.
Yeah, me too. Zero. There's no way, like what Max was saying, there's no way he can match. The best Xander Bogaerts game is half of the best Trevor Story game or the best Carlos Correa game.
Bogarts is hitting well this year, but he's not a home run hitter. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he does occasionally, but even if he hits a home run, that can easily be matched by either one of those guys, and they can possibly hit two. That's definitely possible. Did Correa hit 3 earlier this week? I feel like he did, but I could be wrong.
I don't know, but he's been hitting the ball well.
I don't remember. Yeah, no, Correa's been crushing it.
Yeah. And not getting, I think he hasn't been getting super rewarded for it, although the Astros have been really good the last couple days.
Yeah, he's been hitting it at people a little bit.
So here's a question that Matt brought up that I think also, while we have this massive Coors elephant in the room, I think is a good question to bring up. He stacked the Cubs, which is an interesting concept tonight, but he used Rayburn as a one-off. So for me, if my goal is to be if you're playing the Cubs, you're doing it to be contrarian. I'm not using Rayburn in that.
Yeah, you're right. Absolutely, because everybody will use Rayburn as a one-off today.
If you're gonna be contrarian, be contrarian. Don't then stick the chalkiest player from the chalk stack in there because you're betting against that.
Right.
Exactly. Right. Exactly. So I just wanted to cover that. The Cubs are if you're dead set against, or you're dead set on fading Coors, which I'm not doing, but if you are, the Cubs are somewhat interesting. I think the wind is blowing out just a touch, maybe
3 miles an hour.
So it doesn't matter. But those lefties.
No.
I like the Cubs today. They're projected for a ton of runs.
I definitely noticed that Rizzo in particular is underpriced. He's 4,400. Yes. I'm not sure if on DraftKings or FanDuel. So feels like forever ago I did my research for this morning.
Yeah, he's 4,400 on D. He's the 10th highest priced first baseman.
Yeah. I like that stack. You can stack them and the Rockies. You don't have to fade the Rockies just to stack the Cubs.
Yeah.
Right. Definitely.
You talk about upside.
Yeah, exactly.
You get 8 home run hitters, 8 double dong upside.
No one is talking about the Cubs, but Vegas loves them.
And the Cubs are like the Mets to me. They're always stackable against a right. I guess they're stackable against lefties, but they're always stackable against righties because you just run into so many balls, especially at home.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting one that I hadn't really looked at because I've just been figuring out how the hell I'm gonna stack Rockies and Astros. So here's one that I wanna touch on. Within your core stack, I know Max, you're interested in doing this. On a night like tonight, how much do you consider say stacking the bottom of the order? Is that something you really, really want to do, or you're just going to maybe say you're entering 5 lineups, you're going to do one that's that way? What's kind of your approach on differentiating within a team that you like?
So it all depends, right? On the lineup. If you look at the Rockies lineup, they have Story and Reynolds at 6 and 7. Both of those guys can go off. So I like to stack the bottom of the order when there's upside in the bottom of the order. Like stacking, I don't know, let me see here. Trying to find a really bad bottom of the order. Like stacking the Mets bottom of the order today, like Lagares, Kelly, and Rivera doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? So I love to stack the bottom of the order because it's always under-owned when it has the upside that I'm looking for, you know? So yeah, I think maybe I'll have a couple shots at it, like, and I don't even mind Rayburn in that case because nobody's going to have, or nobody, most people won't have Rayburn, Reynolds, Story, and Garnell, you know, in the same lineup.
What do you think, Steve?
I agree. Stacking the bottom of the order is kind of one of my favorite things to do. That or even the wraparound. I don't even mind the wraparound in the National League when you got the pitcher in there. I mean, it's not ideal, but then it's really contrarian for sure. So yeah, especially when guys like that end up at the bottom of the order. I mean, that's honestly the lineup I'm building right now is a 6, 7, 8, and maybe something else in there. So yeah, I think that's a good idea. I mean, the top is just going to be so owned. Actually, I had Arenado in, and I just took him out because I think he's just going to be massively owned, and I'd rather just bet that he doesn't have the huge game and get somebody. I mean, I'm trying to figure out who I can put in there that works. I kind of like Rendon actually. He's the highest in Dong Finder today, and he's got Adam Morgan, so it's pretty decent matchup. Well, technically Jeffrey Marta is higher, but I'm pretty sure that's a sample size thing.
He hit the shit out of the ball.
He went
last
off yesterday.
Right, exactly. He's got like 6 at bats, but they're really good. But and I kind of like Travis Shaw a little bit, although I really prefer him against lefties because he's more of a reverse splits guy. But he's kind of a guy that I like to get on Boston because I feel like he gets less ownership than just about anybody else.
I think I prefer Shaw. I agree with you at home against lefties.
Yes.
Because you get him just take the slider off the green monster to the backside, and like you said, nobody likes to target him within that Red Sox lineup.
Yeah, he's always kind of in the middle bottom of the order there, and he's not a name like Mookie or Big Papi or something. So speaking of which, Big Papi's going to crush it tonight, I'm sure. But he's so expensive that not really on my board unless I somehow end up with a pile of cash, or I'm just punting pitcher.
The Red Sox.
Let's talk about that for a second. Punting pitcher with Albert Suarez.
Yeah, one of you guys, who's done the most Suarez digging? One of you guys want to go in?
I mean, I looked at his minor league numbers. Nothing impressive. Yeah. We just need him not to give up like 10 runs.
I mean, it's the Braves, right? Like, he did well, Like, you don't need much from this guy. He's only 4K. Like, I know Adam mentioned it, but it's the same. It was the same scenario as G yesterday. Your second pitcher on DraftKings today, if you're getting upside hitters, is not going to give you like 25 points, So the worst case scenario is like, you just don't want him to blow up and give you negative. If he gives you 10, 12, you're winning.
Right.
So
10 would be fantastic.
Yeah,
fantastic. I mean, they should win, right? Like, hopefully they win. So that's.
I mean, think about him like a hitter. He's priced like a hitter. If you got 12 out of a 4K hitter, you'd be pretty happy with. I mean,
right, exactly, yeah.
I mean,
double digits.
He's cheaper than he's the same price as Josh Harrison, basically. He's like the people that he's cheaper than is kind of disturbing when you look at hitters. But so the question that I bring to myself is I think Suarez relates back to how much you love. I guess if you're if you're playing Big Papi at first and Posey at catcher, maybe you can double punt, with like a Shoemaker and Suarez. But I don't even know that you need that much money. But if you're playing Suarez, you're going up to get Scherzer or Lester or something. So what's the trade-off of Scherzer and Suarez versus, say, Shoemaker and Sanchez?
It depends, right? Like, are you projecting Shoemaker to do really well today? Because he can blow up too.
I don't know what I'm projecting, and Scherzer scares me. This pitching slate sucks. I know all the hitters. I know all the hitters that I want.
Really
It's
doesn't
like
scare me, but
he doesn't scare me from
Philly.
a floor. He doesn't scare me from a floor. It's just if I'm paying $13,000, like I want I'm not 20K. I know that's absurd, but I want good Scherzer. I don't want 25 points. I can get 20.
Really?
I can get 25 points.
So
I
let's
would
$13,000.
I would take 25 points and run. Because no one else is going to get you 25 points today, so it doesn't matter. You're looking at it like on any slate. In today's slate,
True.
Scherzer is by far the safest option.
Yeah, baseball's much more relative than like NBA, where you
Exactly,
have like a hard point.
Like, yeah, if Kershaw was on the slate today, you would need Scherzer to go off. But he's not, so.
See, I do think there is some upside in those other guys. I think you can get 25 out of other guys.
Oh, yeah, no, I agree. But I don't think you can get 35. And I think Scherzer can get you 35.
Yeah. I'll agree with that.
Like Lester gives you 35 against this lineup like 5% of the time, you know?
Yeah, if that.
And Scherzer gives you 35 against the Phillies like 30 or 40% of the time, most likely.
Wish he would have done it this year once, so I'd have a little more confidence.
He was bad Scherzer in the beginning. Plus, he was getting
really
like super unlucky.
Yeah.
He had like a 2 fly ball to home run to fly ball ratio, which was like insanity. And his BABIP was crazy too.
He was also really, really good against the Cardinals, aside from one inning in his last start, and then he gave up the grand slam to Piscotty. So, full disclosure, I have Scherzer Suarez, and that's where I'm going. But I think it's a discussion to be had, and maybe if the Phillies had Franco in the lineup, it could be a little bit more of a discussion. But I mean, Andres Blanco is hitting third. It's bad. It's a bad lineup. So,
welcome to the party, Adam.
How's it going,
Hello,
guys?
Adam.
What's up, guys?
So Adam, we kind of been just bouncing around a little bit. We started with some pitching, but then we basically just opened it up for questions for the most part. Instead of kind of going game by game, I think it's a little better to just field the questions and then go over the hot topics. I mean, I don't think we we got a question on the Rays, and we kind of briefly scanned over it, and I don't think we need to go over that game really.
Yeah, I forgot they were playing today.
Yeah, that's what.
That
Steve
was my
said.
exact response. It was true too. It wasn't even just making a joke.
Their one-offs are interesting, though. I think. I mean, they're facing a lefty.
They're Park and.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I mean, I actually don't mind Longoria on FanDuel, where he's 3,500 and gonna get overlooked with Arenado.
Yeah, but he's not Arenado.
Well,
so I don't want him.
Are you? Yeah. See, I'm of the Arenado fade mind, honestly.
Maybe on on DraftKings, you just can't do it. I don't think. I mean, well, then again, I guess I will in some lineups because I'll just have a different 5 Rockies. But
right, like we were talking about stacking the bottom of the Rockies order.
Yeah. I mean, I guess if I'm only playing a handful of lineups, I wouldn't want to do it. Because I think there's just other ways to differentiate, like paying up for Blackman and Cargo, both. Where I don't want to do that and then not have Arenado, because then I'm just losing so much value.
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean, when I make 200 lineups in a different tournament, I'm gonna have some without Arenado.
The less lineups I play, the more contrarian I tend to get, because going for the top spot.
Yeah, no, I mean, I do and I don't. If I didn't see an easy way to differentiate my core stacks, then yeah, I would definitely skip Arenado. I just don't think you have to do it to be different with your Rocky stacks. And for me, he's the top play for the Rockies, so by far.
Fair enough.
I see the point though.
Yeah. I mean, you've done better than me in the GPPs, so guys, take his advice.
So a couple quick questions, and then I want to circle back again to get Adam's got, I think, a good take on Coors in general today. Padres, I think when Felix got placed on the DL, the Padres did become a little bit interesting, particularly say as a pairing with the Rockies to differentiate yourself. What do you guys think about the Padres? Adam, go ahead.
I agree. I'm just now pulling up their pricing. I've been a little bit behind today trying to get stuff done, but I had already noticed Solarte's priced at 3,000, and I don't know if their lineup's out, but I assume he'll be in the middle of that order. He hits really well against lefties, and yes, I mean he's someone that I already know I'm interested in. My main issue with the Padres is most of their guys I'd be interested in are outfielders, and so are most of the other guys that I like today.
Yeah, Kemp and Upton are probably two key guys in that stack that you're not going to be able to
Norris,
get one of.
No, Norris is what I
nice.
was looking at there.
Yeah. My only problem with Norris is he's not Swihart.
Is that lineup out? It was still showing unconfirmed on mine. Maybe.
Wait, you're on Swihart today? You were killing him.
You were just talking shit about him yesterday.
I know.
I hated his matchup with Gaussman yesterday. I love his matchup with Wright today.
Yeah, I love Swihart today too.
And I haven't even looked at the pitch breakdowns for him yet. But in my model yesterday, he was my 12th best catcher or something, rated a 50. And then today he's my number 1 catcher at 72. So my model agrees with me.
It's a very similar thing that what happened in Dong Finder. He didn't drop that far down. He dropped from high 80s to low 70s, and today he's back up to 87.
Yeah, he's number 1 in my model too. But I was on him yesterday too, so it's not.
My issue with him yesterday was just that Gaussman throws his splitter, changeup, whatever it is, to lefties all the time, and Swihart literally cannot hit it. And today he's facing a guy that throws fastballs.
Nice, good.
That's fair. All right, well, good to know that I'm allowed to like Blake Swihart today.
Yeah, exactly. Same
you have our permission.
Yeah. Another. Well, this isn't really a question, but you got a good comment on your hutch in the background, Adam. And what about Belt today? So I don't want to bring up Giants again after yesterday, but
too soon.
Too soon. Vegas has lied to us 2 days in a row now. Any interest though in Brandon Belt one off? He did he do something yesterday? Did he hit a bomb yesterday?
He drew a walk.
He walked, which was better than most Giants.
Who did? It was Span that actually did something.
Yeah.
Triple.
Yeah.
Belt hit a home run 2 days ago.
2 days.
Because I had him that day too. I don't know. I play him every day, and it doesn't work out every day, so whatever.
Yeah, so, there's just other first basemen for me.
Yeah. So I think we're no on Belt.
I mean, I never shy away from taking guys against Perez. I don't think it's a terrible play. There's just a lot that I like better.
So Parker's got a good question. You talked a lot about the Rockies. I would be curious to hear how much Reds exposure you want, or ownership that you project for them. If anybody wants to take a crack at that.
I mean, people are fickle. The Reds sucked yesterday, so I think that it will be heavily in favor of Colorado between the two. I don't know. I mean, Bruce and Duvall will probably get attention.
Bruce is in a terrible matchup.
Yeah, but Duvall is not. Duvall's in a fantastic
Duvall's not.
matchup.
Duvall's the only one I'd play, but I'm not playing any of them.
Adam?
Yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at. I want to get Duvall into a lineup, and that's about it. I mean, I guess I don't mind Joey Votto. I haven't looked at Chatwood's numbers against lefties, though. I know you said he gets a lot of ground balls, but
60% ground balls versus.
But I mean, the thing is, the Rockies they're not as bad as the Reds, but also if you get into that bullpen, it's pretty similar.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so I mean, I definitely don't mind.
Chatwood can go way deeper in the game than Lamb is projected to.
His splits are way worse at home, for what it's worth. So, I mean, but it should be, obviously. But I think he proves on the road that he's not a bad pitcher. so he's probably not somebody that I necessarily want to target. And like you said, I hate the lefties matchup. Duvall is very interesting, but I'd be curious on Duvall as a one-off. I don't know. I'm not going there, but I guess I wouldn't kill you.
My issue with that, and it really just comes down to how you think the Reds are going to be owned, is I don't want to grab the 4-hitter in the middle of a popular stack.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, I agree.
But individually, I'd love Duvall.
I think Bruce and Votto are going to be the highest owned because people don't look at Chatwood's numbers. They'll just see righty lefty, and that's it.
Yeah. Not to mention, like, Duvall, like, he's had a good year, but it's still Adam Duvall compared to Votto and Bruce.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
The guy
good thing brought up in the chat that I noticed too. Stanton's back in the lineup and he's 3,500 on FanDuel. What do you guys think there?
Against what's his name, right?
Neese?
Neese.
Is it Neese?
Oh God.
Yeah, it's
yes.
Neese. Exactly. Yes.
Right. Exactly. And I don't think people have noticed.
People forget about him, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not in cores. He hasn't been playing. This is like the perfect Stanton spot.
Exactly. And not just that, I think it differentiates you.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'm glad you pointed that out because I would have not noticed.
Same here.
So I caught it right at the beginning of the show, and I got distracted by all the Rockies talk.
So here's a good question. More of a kind of a statement from Matt. He brings up that Jay Bruce was super low owned on. I didn't see. I shut my computer once the core stuff started. But I think between FanDuel and DraftKings, the ownerships are drastically different on cores from a night-to-night basis because you can't fit all the cores bats into one lineup with pitching that you like on FanDuel. You have to make concessions somewhere. Now, do I expect the Rockies bats to be popular tonight on FanDuel? Of course. But I think in general, on DraftKings, you're just going to see crazy high ownership versus on FanDuel. So how are you guys approaching that if you're playing on both sites, or are you approaching it differently?
I'm pretty much playing on FanDuel today. Might throw something little in DraftKings, so I don't know if I'm the best to answer that one.
I'm mostly playing DraftKings. FanDuel is going to be if I have time.
Yeah, exactly. Same here.
But my approach is on DraftKings, I'm going 100% Rockies because that way I'll at least double the field. Like they're not going to be more than 50%.
You'll triple the field.
Right.
Probably.
Yeah. And then FanDuel, I'm going to try and go 100% there, but I'm okay going like 60% or something because it's going to be lower there. Probably going if I go like 60% FanDuel and 100% DraftKings, I'll probably triple the field with both.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that makes sense. Also, like yesterday's ownership percentages were skewed by the weather factor.
Yeah.
So you can't really look at Bruce
Right.
being 5% or whatever. He would have been probably 20% if it wasn't for the weather.
Sense.
Has anyone watched? Has anyone paid attention to anything like earlier today though? Like, are people talking about the Reds, or are they just completely ignoring them?
Haven't looked honestly, and
Because they're the third highest. They're tied for like the second highest. Their third highest total on the board.
No, it's true. Like if their ownership is going to be low,
Yeah.
it makes sense to play them. But I just like people look at Coors. Like how can their ownership be low?
Right. Yeah, I guess my thing is like even if the Reds is lower than it should be, it's still going to be higher than like the Orioles or the Red Sox.
Right. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So what about these two teams in comparison to my favorite spot other than the Rockies, the Astros tonight? I can't get a grasp. I tried to look at some stuff this morning, and nothing that I saw people were talking about the Astros. But I haven't had a chance to look at anything.
I really haven't looked.
Yeah, I haven't. I didn't see anybody talk about them earlier either. And the thing that really interests me on DraftKings is like the little bit that I have been able to look at DraftKings today. The Astros are like more expensive than the Rockies. So, like at least some of them. Like Altuve was expensive. I think Springer's up there.
Springer's 4,500.
Okay. So yeah, Springer's 45, and then the guys on the Rockies are like 46. Blackman and Cargo. Yeah. Blackman's 47.
Yeah.
So like I think it's probably I could see where like even if people like the Astros, they end up not playing them as much because it'll be hard to fit both, and people are going to prefer the Rockies.
Yeah.
Outside of Correa,
I
Correa's
agree.
gonna be like 1,000,000% owned.
Yeah. We touched on that already.
Yeah.
Did you touch on Trevor Story being a really good play because of it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually.
Literally, that was the exact order in which that conversation happened. Yeah.
Glad we meet your approval, Adam.
I'm seeing if we got.
I love Altuve. I mean, not that that's like a hot take or anything, but he's checking way more boxes on the home run indicator stuff than normal. So, like, I am all over that. I kind of wish he were more expensive on FanDuel. On DK, he's pretty expensive. It's only $4K on FanDuel. But I hope people go to LeMahieu or something like that.
Yep.
I agree.
Agreed.
I just love all the Astros bats. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, all those.
Jake
right?
Marisnick included.
Yeah,
Yes,
I wish-
all of them.
Yes, actually, Marisnick is like one of my favorites. Check his recent game log.
Yeah.
Blowing up the dong finder.
Yeah.
No,
I
I wasn't.
I
I
pulled,
wasn't
I pulled
being
him out of
sarcastic.
I pulled him out of an Astro stack the other day and immediately regretted it.
Exactly.
I hate the
'cause,
Tyler
like,
White
I
stack
love
hate.
9-1-2-3.
I hate
wanted
that.
White.
Yeah, I hate that White. Except I kind of like it because you can just go 8 through 3.
You can. Yeah.
Start with White.
I like that too. But then you have to go like Arenado and Cargo in your other spots and figure out what to do with catcher.
Derek Norris or Swihart.
Derek Norris. Exactly. Here, there you go. We just built a GPP winning line.
Yeah.
There you go. What about Marwin?
Nah, I mean,
I'm feeling him kind of the least outside of Gomez. I don't like any Gomez.
Yeah,
He's
he
a
takes
first
up like
baseman and
a
a third
really
baseman.
prime spot. Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
I like. Oh God, I'm torn on Tyler White honestly because I mean he sucks. But the last time I had this tearing thing, he had like the two dongs that would have won me a freaking GPP. But I mean I'm not gonna play him because he's just terrible. But if he does go off, I'm gonna be really upset about it.
Well, I'll make sure to play him.
You
then.
got to play him now. You
You have to play him. Put him in the dollar or something.
Yeah.
Like $3.
There we go. So just quickly, the top overall player in Dong Finder today is Hyun-Soo Kim. What do you guys think about that?
He's the number one hitter on my model, and I hate it.
Me too.
I don't know. So do you think that is just skewed because he hasn't played?
Yeah, I think it's skewed because he hasn't played. When he started out the season, he was getting a bunch of like blue pits, and now he's actually hitting the ball hard. So like, I think I don't think he's a bad play. I don't think he's a bad hitter, but I don't think he's like the best hitter on the board.
Fair enough.
Yep.
I don't mind him at all on FanDuel at 2,500 versus Joe Kelly.
He's batting second, right?
Yeah, batting second.
Yeah.
I think he's a good value play there. Although I also, and you guys are probably going to hate me for this one, I like Chris Heisey. He's Min-Sao on FanDuel versus Morgan.
He's better as a pinch hitter.
He's
though.
leading off. Jesus.
Yeah, he's leading
Oh,
off.
wow.
Don't hate him on FanDuel.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, no.
He's
If you
2K.
need to save, if you
Yeah,
need to save
I mean,
salary.
he's an 87 in Dong Finder. I mean, I think that's partially skewed by sample size, but I still just don't care.
It's also Adam
Sample
Morgan.
size is tiny.
Yeah.
But
What
all
happened
the
to
same.
Michael Taylor? Wasn't he the leadoff guy against lefties?
Michael
In the
Taylor, yeah.
doghouse?
Yeah, but he
He's
sucks.
seventh.
Sucks.
He's so good.
That's what I'm saying. Every time I play him, he gets like a couple hits and a stolen base.
I'm pretty sure he's one of their like top prospects too.
He was.
What is he like 24?
They don't like him. There's a reason he doesn't play. He's
Yeah.
He's like Kim with Showalter.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I will gladly trade Kim for Taylor.
He can be worse than Chris Heisey.
Oh no,
No.
he's not worse than Chris.
Dude has been on every team ever.
He's got
Taylor-
experience.
Taylor doesn't make any contact, and he swings for the fences every time. And they want him to be a leadoff hitter. Anyway, Steve, carry on.
Well, let me just run down some of the top guys in Dong Finder for everybody. Blake Sweetheart is right up there at an 88. I love him. Altuve. Espinoza is still up there too, and Morgan's not any impediment to that. Although the park's not ideal, right? Sean Rodriguez is another one that's still hanging around up there, although he's outfield on FanDuel now. That's not good. Buster Posey is near the top, which is unusual. He doesn't make too many appearances there, 84. Evan Gattis, I know you guys love him so much.
He's hitting the ball hard.
He is.
I don't know who I hate more. Is it Posey or Gattis?
For me, it's Gaddis, and that's still saying a lot.
That is saying a lot.
I just can't watch him hit.
Marisnik, as I mentioned, I love. Anthony Rendon is another guy that's been just killing the ball but getting kind of unlucky. Kinsler against Shu. I still love the idea of stacking against Shu. That's going to probably be one of my few lineups. It's a Tigers stack there because I think Shu's going to be highly owned, or at least the Tigers will be low owned. Who else? Michael Bourne. That's an interesting one near the top of Dong Finder.
Is this Dong Finder 2010?
Did he hit home runs in 2010?
No.
He hit
At
a
least he
home
stole
run.
like 50 bases.
He hit a home run like 2 games ago. So, actually, no, it was a triple, but still.
Can we
That counts as a home run for him.
Can we random aside really quick? So they've been playing the Astros, and they've been playing the Astros. So I've been watching the games. Michael Bourne playing right field is an abomination for baseball. I have a stronger arm than that dude does. He needs 2 cutoff men to get it to home. Why is he playing right field?
Oh, when he was in his prime, he could throw.
He can't throw anymore. It looks horrible.
In every start, he has double-digit FanDuel points. Just throwing that out there.
I'm not arguing.
Well, he should.
He hits in front of Goldie. I mean, it helps.
Yeah. I like Hosmer, too, against Archer. I think that'll probably be a low-owned one, especially given that he's first base and, not underpriced. And Archer
Hosmer's always
certainly
underowned.
prone
to the blow-up.
Hosmer,
I might have missed
Tommy
it.
G's call this morning. If that makes you feel any better, you're in company with Tommy G this morning. He called.
Oh,
out
yeah?
times. Yeah,
Okay.
This is play of the day.
Interesting.
I might have missed it. Where's Zimmerman on the Dong Finder?
He is kind of right below Hosmer, actually. Yeah, right below Hosmer. About a 70.
I love him on DraftKings where he's priced up with Ortiz if you can afford him.
I know. That price is amazing.
Yeah.
5.5K, like 0%.
Yeah, I had him in a provisional lineup earlier. I was looking at it. I love the Washington stack again today, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
I hope I don't talk
I do
myself
too.
out of it.
Yeah, I'm trying to just force myself to not stack anything except Colorado and then just use many stacks. But I definitely like Washington.
Yeah. So that's what.
I like
Have you
Ramos
looked
a
at?
lot.
Have you looked at him on FanDuel? Has anybody looked at him on FanDuel? We got a question about the Nats on FanDuel.
I know they're cheaper. I don't know.
Yeah, I was
can do it right
doing it on FanDuel. Zimmerman's 3,600. It's the same price as Reynolds, so I'm sure most people will go Reynolds in that choice. Rendon is 500 less than Arenado, so that's not too hard to go. Arenado. Heisey I mentioned is Minsal, but I don't know if anybody noticed that. Espinosa's really cheap. They're all cheap, but I still don't think they're going to get much attention.
Oh, catcher's deep today.
Yeah, I like Ramos too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Ramos.
Catchers
Batting
the
sixth,
toughest-
too.
Oh, Real Muto's leading off again against Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm going through, I'm trying to build my thing for the $3 on Fantasy Labs, and there's a lot of catchers today that I
Yeah.
like.
Catchers the
You're going to
hardest.
play them all in 200 lineups.
Oh, and
I am.
Norris is 6th now.
Yeah.
How bad is Paxton? I mean, I assume
He's not bad. I mean, he's talented. He just has that injury issues.
Okay.
He has control issues and injury issues.
I knew I played him last
He
year,
used to
but I
throw
couldn't
like
remember if
95
he was
miles
big
an
or
hour.
not.
Yeah, he was one of their it was like him and Holtzen, I think, where they're 2 big pitching prospects, and they both got hurt.
And Taiwan.
Yeah, in Taiwan. Yeah.
He was good in the beginning of the year.
Who?
Paxton.
Paxton.
Last
Okay,
year.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, no, like I would definitely want to play Paxton if he was in the player pool today. So yeah, it's not like I'm dying to stack
Nowhere.
Padres against him.
I even checked Aces to see if he was in the player pool there. He's not.
Nowhere. Let's see. Any other questions? Astros stack. I know we got the Arenado elephant, but Valbuena. Any interest in Valbuena?
Like negative interest in Valbuena.
Yeah. Ray's actually good
Nope.
against lefties.
Yeah, it's my interest is so far through the floor it like came back around again. It's bad.
It made me yawn, so that was interesting.
Yeah. Oh, on the Astro stack though, you know what I think is actually really interesting is if you do like we're talking about the 8 through 3 with like Cargo and Arenado. If you go 8 through 2 on the Astros and then include Story instead of Correa.
Yeah, way to
that's
take my stack that I just built.
Let's all have the same lineup, guys.
They're coming close a lot.
Yeah, every night it feels like oh shit, I stacked like who'd you play at second base or who'd you play at catcher?
We didn't even really talk about it that much today. Like normally we talk in the chat a lot more than today.
Yeah.
Well, this morning me and Max almost had identical teams and we didn't say a word to each other before live.
Oh hey, Arizona lineup is out. Chris Herman is batting 6th, so I obviously love it.
Yeah, is Castillo in?
No Castillo.
One more catcher.
Damn it.
Lamb.
Yeah, I already have Herman in my labs, but I want a Castillo too.
Lamb batting 4th. I like that too. Bourne up there.
Fires is reverse.
Why
split.
Is he?
Why does Vegas love Fire so much?
I don't know.
That's
My
what
model
I-
loves him too. I had to delete him.
Like Zona run total's down to 3.5. That's crazy.
I guess
In
maybe I should put him
Houston.
back. He's a
They've been
fly ball pitcher too, I
susceptible.
thought.
They've
I
been
mean, he
susceptible
rated
don't
really
know.
well in my model too.
I don't get it. It's not like Arizona has a bad lineup.
No, he's not a fly ball pitcher. I don't know why I thought that.
I mean, Ricky Weeks is hitting 5th though, so maybe I'm taking that back now.
Yeah, I mean Castillo's out, Weeks is out. He's got his xFIP this year is good. He doesn't strike out anybody, but
Is there a reason that Weeks is hitting 5th and Tomas is hitting 8th?
because they're idiots.
Yeah, that's just ridiculous. That's just silly. And Drury batting 9th. Like, come on, guys. Do you know how to read a stat box
these
score?
people-
Like, you don't even need
These
advanced
people get
stats for
paid
these.
like a lot of money for knowing baseball really, really well.
Adam,
Anyway,
do you want to Parker ask some questions on just kind of how you're handling your massive amounts of lineups, Rockies stacks, just kind of filling in with one-offs. How much are you handling exploring?
I'm right now. I'm just going through like I'm gonna have all the Rockies a decent amount, but it's gonna be just like stacks of 5 Rockies, and then I'm just going through and putting in the exposures I want for like my top players at positions, and then I'll let it fill in the gaps with like the guys that I like, but not as much.
But you're locking some Rockies in when you do it? Or you?
I'm probably
right. It has that stack thing.
yeah.
I forgot about
Yeah,
that.
I'm probably gonna put like some of them at like 90%, and then others at like 40%, and then hopefully it gives me something quickly because there's only 3,000 spots left.
that's pretty crazy that it filled so quickly.
Export import works pretty well though.
How's their edit thing work? Because I've never gotten it to work. But if I just like if I put 200 lineups in now and then edit it, I can just put a whole new CSV in, right?
I believe that's how it works. Yeah, there's a thing to like export the edits. I think.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna do that and hopefully it works. Because I've gotten screwed on it a couple times, but
It's way harder if you reserve the spots
Yeah, you
in
can't
advance
do that.
to like click.
because then you have to like put each one in.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't do that.
Let's real quick call a couple home runs. Steve, go ahead.
Alrighty. Altuve is like my best lock of a call. And then I'm also going to take Stanton.
Ah, nice.
Go ahead, Max.
I suck at these, but I'm gonna go Ortiz and Duval.
Nice.
Swihart, Pedro Alvarez.
I left Swihart.
None of us took any Rockies. Like, what's wrong with us?
That just seemed too easy.
Yeah.
Everyone wearing Colorado plus Swihart and Alvarez.
Yeah, exactly. There were so many Coors home runs yesterday. It was like, just stop, please, call the game.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't because that was like the only lineup I cashed yesterday. But
Yeah.
Same here.
That's definitely. I'm gonna go Springer, and I really wanted Altuve. Let's go Marisnik.
Yes.
Let's go.
I wanted you to say that.
Yeah. So if the Astros tank like my Cardinals did today, I'll be sad on Friday when we get together again.
Yeah, Astros tanking not going to be good for anybody.
Not gonna be
I
good.
think.
Anything else anybody want to touch on before we go build some lineups?
nope.
Not
Think we
really.
went over
Any
everything.
last questions? I guess.
Stat Coors.
Stack course. Play the Rockies.
Yeah.
Pedro Alvarez.
Pedro Alvarez.
All
All right,
I don't
guys.
even see him in my model.
No, he's pretty low. Yeah, he's pretty low in mine.
Okay, good.
This is a Orioles homer gut call.
His ISO against two-seam fastballs over 93 miles an hour over the last 3 or 4 years is above 300.
Jesus.
Wow.
Pretty good.
Who is that?
Pedro Alvarez.
Wow. Okay.
And since the beginning of 2014, he has swung and missed. He's gotten 41 two-seam fastballs of at least 93 miles an hour, and he has swung and missed once.
That's impressive for him.
Yeah.
That
When
is,
Alvarez
because he
makes
swings and
contact,
misses
he
at
goes.
everything.
Yeah, I didn't think
Yeah.
he'd ever seen a pitch he didn't like.
Yeah, like Chris Davis's ISO since the beginning of 2014 is 361, but he's also swung and missed like 22% of the time. But Alvarez is up there and like has swung and missed once.
Oh God damn it! I don't
pretty
want to play
impressive.
Pedro Alvarez.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not playing Pedro Alvarez, but that's interesting, and
I like it.
it certainly makes me more interested in Pedro Alvarez than I
Oh yeah,
was.
that's the only reason I'm interested. Someone had me doing an in-depth Joe Kelly search earlier, and I found that on Alvarez.
Oh, yeah.
So you actually like Joe Kelly less now than you did before the search.
Yeah,
Was that even possible?
I mean, like the thing is, I'm gonna have Kelly exposure just because
God.
it's theoretically a good spot. Like everyone's gonna play Suarez, who has 0 upside, hoping to get 15 points, and Kelly has strikeout upside, so at barely
Is
anything
everyone
more.
going to play Suarez, though? I don't think so.
Dylan Gee was 20% on last night. At
Yeah,
4,800.
That was...
He had more upside.
Yeah, but he's also more expensive. In a worse matchup.
$800, wasn't it?
Yeah, he was 4,800. Yeah, but he was facing a team that can
4,800.
actually hit. The Braves can't hit, and this guy, like, I don't know. I think
Just
he'll
so
be
you
like
guys
15
know.
to 20%.
Joe Kelly is going to be owned. Like, JM to Win has him ranked number 1. People will see that and play him.
Well, okay, I was thinking Kelly would be like 5%.
No, it's going to be higher than that, I think.
That makes me
It's
even
going to be
less
between
interested.
like 10 and 15%.
Ranked number 1.
Okay,
that sounds
then yeah, I don't want that.
wrong.
I thought it was like I like it as like a pivot off of Suarez because he has way more upside.
Yeah, if it was like completely under the,
Yeah,
Unknown,
I thought it was because yeah, I don't want it if that's the case.
Wait, it
Um,
says James Paxton is 6.4K here.
Wait,
Like,
what?
is he in the...
Oh yeah, no,
player
that's
pool?
like Siege said that he was in their player pool to rank, but like he's just not on the site. Unless I just couldn't find him.
Gotcha.
He's not on there.
Yeah.
I mean, I looked.
I thought maybe they like did an emergency edition of James Paxton.
Not on DraftKings. Just
Um,
looked
Real
again.
quick, one other quick question. I outside of Coors and the Astros, who's your top stack?
Either the Red Sox or the Orioles. Probably the Red Sox.
For me, it's Washington.
Wait, since you guys took two of mine, I'm going to pick a unique one. But it's one of those two. Let's see. Let's go with the Cubbies.
Okay.
I also kind of like Miami as a sneaky thing against Nice. Miami righties.
I like it. Just I would like it better on other slates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To me, it's kind of like what I did with the Giants yesterday, where like it's a great spot, but you're trying to beat like a Coors Field team that's projected to score 7 runs.
It's too cute. There's not enough up. You're begging for Coors not only to not go off, but to like do literally nothing, like the game to be 3-2.
And then the Marlins to actually hit home runs.
Yeah.
Right.
In their giant ballpark.
Mm-hmm.
But Stanton is a good play.
Ozuna. Like, I like the Marlins.
Yeah, I mean, Ozuna is fine, but, I mean, he's 5.1K.
Yeah, he just won't be on.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah. He's Marcell Ozuna.
It's a very sneaky thing. I would definitely mix.
He's turned into Barry Bonds.
But it's there. I just got to see how these guys mix in with other Coors guys,
Oh, yeah, that's the thing. I'm going to have to mess with Labs. It gave me 95% Garneau. I don't want that.
Oh.
With all the other catchers available.
Yeah.
No.
Well, it also gave me like nothing but Shoemaker and Lester like combos.
Yeah, it's pretty hard line about people it likes and doesn't. You really got to force its hand.
Yeah.
That's right.
Labs loves Lester.
It always loves Lester.
Loves Lester.
Yeah, it's got him like just below Scherzer for me.
Yep.
I look at their hitter.
I mean, I love Lester too. So I'm not
I don't really use it.
Yeah. Danny Duffy started my model.
Mine too.
He started.
Yeah, and then Fires.
Yeah, Fires.
Get out of each other's mind. Our models are like all the same. Actually, they're all different, and yet they still seem to put players in.
I'm telling you, I think that's the leak in our three analysts is that we all think the same.
Yeah.
We need like a really chalky guy.
Yeah.
Steve, it's supposed to be you. You're the
He's the cash game guy, but he's not.
I'm filling in for that today.
But he's like.
I mean, if you want my cash game options, I got them. It's just everybody asks about GPP for the most part.
I mean, I think
you're
today
more contrarian than I am, and I only play GPPs.
Steve's the most contrarian today. I think everybody, the rest of us, just literally said stack the Rockies, and I'd love the Astros, like the most obvious teams ever. Or what everyone is saying to go play, and Steve's like, I don't know, I don't think I want to play Arenado.
See, cash guy.
But not. I mean, in my cash lineup, I'm definitely playing Arenado. Like it's just a different thing. Like I do one thing and then I move on to the next.
I'm really going to be interested to see the Coors ownership tonight, though.
It's going to be too.
It's got to be, doesn't it?
People will find a reason to fade them.
But all year, people have found reasons, and then like tonight with Blackman and Cargo, you get lefty, which I don't give a shit about tonight, but people do.
They will. Yeah.
People will play Reynolds and Rayburn over Blackman and Cargo.
Yeah, for sure. Rayburn will be the highest owned.
Which is not.
Maybe Arenado.
Arenado, and then Rayburn will be 2.
Yeah, Rayburn will be the second highest owned.
Which is insanity.
Yeah, because people will be like, I can just skip the lefties and take this like power hitter. And then they'll be on like message boards complaining all night that the lefty matchup went off. or that they both hit like home runs between the 6th and 9th innings.
Because it never happens ever.
Go to the RG forum later tonight after Blackman and Cargo go off and watch the tilt of Rayburn goes 0 and then gets pulled for a pinch hitter in the 6th inning or whatever.
That's always a fun place to go anyway, just because like it's like the worst of the worst DFS players.
Like my Brave stack is sucking. Like what's happening here?
I think it's like the one place on the internet where like everyone is still clueless, so they like going there because like other people think their ideas are good, whereas they go to like different places and they just get shot down immediately.
Whoa, Real Muto's the consensus number 1 catcher. That's weird.
All right, take him out of the model.
Yeah.
I will have 0 of him.
Yeah, I'll still have some, but
A bunch of people, Siege included, didn't even rank Garneau. Get the fuck out of here.
Didn't rank who?
Garneau.
Garneau.
Oh. Wow. Interesting.
Siege has
He's-
Ramos, the number 1 catcher.
that was my
I
number
like
one.
Ramos a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Swihart's my number 1, and then Ramos.
Those are literally the 3 I have. But now I have to play Herman just for Steve.
Yes. Chris Herman, I love him. Wow, Ortiz is the #1 first baseman. It's always so weird when I actually look at the rankings on here. I'm like, really?
He's number 1 on there.
Yeah.
Ortiz
Yeah, and on DraftKings.
Yeah.
at point per dollar at 5.5K.
I mean,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
See,
like,
Votto was second. Votto was going to be like 20%.
yeah. That's I love Zimmerman on DraftKings.
He's
Yeah,
not even.
nobody ranks Zimmerman.
0%.
Hey, I'll
Zero.
say #1. I
You.
actually agree with one of the positions.
Zimmerman's 12-month ISO against lefties is 380.
Wow.
You and Nationals fans. We'll have him. I'm not saying it's a bad play. I like it too, but I'm saying like literally he's not.
yeah.
You know,
Wow, Arenado is,
I'm gonna-
is
no,
all
I'm gonna
#1. Nobody ranked Arenado lower than 1.
he should be.
Like I mean, I'm pretty sure that was like
Chris
an
Bryant
immediate.
is number 2.
But I mean, I don't expect it to be how it should be, you know?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there's multiple hot take people over there.
James to win ranked Story over Correa. That's why I
Yeah,
love him.
the only one.
point
Rayburn,
per
the
dollar?
#1 outfielder.
Point per dollar, that's insane.
Yeah,
Yeah,
point
that's
per dollar
not.
doesn't really
Yeah,
make it.
yeah. Like Story can be your favorite shortstop, but it's for ownership reasons, not point per dollar reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I like him a lot.
His
Jam.
stuff- his
See,
stuff is
Rayburn
really-
is
his
the
stuff
number
is
1
really good.
outfielder.
Yeah. Rayburn
But
But
consensus
Blackman and
#1
Carver are right
outfielder.
after them, so maybe they won't be as contrarian as we think.
Yeah, but if that's fine. Just as long as Rayburn takes something away. People don't like to
play
use all
Blackman
three.
and Cargo and don't play Rayburn, and you'll be
Yeah.
contrarian.
People don't like
Yeah.
to use all 3 outfield spots on one team, so it just feels weird to do it. So people won't do it.
Outside
Is that a
exceptions,
thing?
I don't like Rayburn.
People don't do it. I'm telling you. People don't like to use all 3 outfield spots on the same team.
It's true. It feels weird to me, even, you know?
It does too. I mean,
Because you
I
can't
went
really
through that
stack
phase until I
teams.
realized how stupid it was.
Yeah. Oh, it's dumb. But it's hard to stack teams when you use all the outfield spots on one team because everybody
Yeah.
has a good outfielder. in
Yeah,
their
okay,
lineup.
that's true. Yeah, it's hard for like the double.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I played all 3 yesterday. Para, Blackman, and Cargo.
So
That worked. Yeah, that worked.
yeah, I did Para, Blackman, Cargo,
But I didn't-
Arenado, and then 4 Giants.
Only 2 people
I didn't
ranked
play LeMay.
Suarez at all.
See, that's
Really?
why I think I don't think
And
he's
both
gonna
put
be
him fifth.
as chalky as we think.
Well, and actually, I guess I take that back too because I was talking to someone earlier and said something about Suarez, and he didn't know who the hell I was talking about. So,
Exactly.
until he went and looked, I was like, oh, I didn't even see him. So I don't know, maybe.
Yeah.
Nobody scrolls down that far at pitching.
Yeah. Well, and especially when like today, there's like 6 terrible ones above him, so you're just like, okay, I'm done looking.
Yeah.
Right.
It's weird. Emac and
Alright.
the 2 who ranked him, I kind of consider them very conservative players.
Who was the second one?
Dean.
Oh yeah.
You mean
Yeah, they're
Fish?
cash guys.
Total.
Yeah. Exactly. Just interesting. All right, I gotta make some lineups. You
Yeah.
guys,
Yep.
Same.
All right. Good luck, guys.
good luck.
See ya.
We'll be hanging
See you guys.
around.
Good
Yeah.
luck.
Oops.